Welcome into Steelers Latest, your daily spot for all news and information related to your Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm your host, Cole Denis. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content to stay up to date with everything Steelers. But let's get rolling. 53-man roster, set in stone now, confirmed yesterday at 4 p.m. The Steelers released the final 13 players, couple shocking names released. But let's get to the final 53. What are our thoughts on it? And who made the team offensively? Kept four QBs. Skylar Thompson does make the team after his stellar performance in the preseason. Running backs only down to three. Didn't keep Trey Sermon. He couldn't do enough during his time here to earn that spot on the team. Nine offensive linemen, looked pretty familiar up front. Same offensive front basically as last year, or what was planned going into last year before Troy Fautanu's injury. So we got Broderick Jones on the left tackle, Isaac Samilo at left guard, center Zach Frazier, right guard Mason McCormick, right tackle Troy Fautanu. I think there's a lot of potential offense with the offensive front this year. A lot of young players up front, with Isaac Samalo being the veteran presence in this offensive line. So hopefully he can pull out all the talent from this young group and kind of be the leader there they need to thrive. We know Zach Frazier and Mason McCormick are studs. Zach Frazier, especially, he was rated one of the best centers in the league in his rookie season. So I think they're going to do a lot for protecting Rodgers, and they're going to open up the running lanes for Jalen Warren and Caleb Johnson. Wide receiver wise, we kept, I think, five wide receivers. Kind of slim at wide receiver, in my opinion, but is what it is. We got the big name DK Metcalf. Besides that, you're not looking at too much like on paper when you look at the name's talent, but there is once again potential there with Calvin and Austin the third, Roman Wilson and Scotty Miller also balled out in the preseason, so they showed signs of life to possibly provide a spark to this offense. Let's move to the other side of the ball though, as pretty even on the other side of the ball on how they kind of played out with the players or lined it up on the roster. Eight defensive linemen, nine linebackers, eight defensive backs. Nothing too shocking on the defensive side of the ball, in my opinion. Relatively the same core. Besides, in the secondary, you're looking at Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slay as the key contributors in the cornerback room, with Deshaun Elliott being the leader in the safety room now. But let's talk about some of those names that were dropped. Some that were kind of shocking. Didn't really expect them. Chuck Clark, recently brought in by the Steelers to possibly be a free safety in replace for Minkah Fitzpatrick. But I guess Juan Thornhill has impressed enough through all of training camp, OTAs, preseason. He has done enough to warrant the release of Chuck Clark. I think the team really believes in Juan Thornhill, so us fans have to hop on board and hopefully he gets the job done. I'd like to see more interceptions from our free safety position. Minkah did not get those interceptions the past couple years, so hopefully Juan Thornhill can. Another name that we brought in this offseason that you weren't really expecting to go before the season even started, Robert Woods. He was deemed not necessary after Scotty Miller and Roman Wilson both had pretty phenomenal preseason. Scotty Miller, especially, was like the key standout on the Steelers' offense during the preseason. So I'm pretty sure he is the main reason we didn't feel like we needed Robert Woods anymore. He was supposed to be that veteran presence in the young receiver room, but he is now gone. And I think everyone in that room is now under the age of 30. So pretty young room in general. And I got to mention my guy also, my final shock. Not really a shock to too many out there, but someone I personally was hoping would make the team. I thought he did enough in his rookie year to warrant a second opportunity with the team, even after accruing all the talent in the secondary. But Beanie Bishop just couldn't make the roster. after basically being forced out just because of all the talent now in the secondary that was added with Ramsey, Eccles, and Darius Slay. So I'm sad to see my Steeler legend go, my 1 year Steeler legend, but he is now gone, and he'll probably get a shot elsewhere. I mean, he had 4 interceptions in his rookie year. He was an undrafted free agent with 4 picks. He's gonna get a shot somewhere else. Let's talk about our best position groups on both sides of the ball, though. Uh, Offensively, who am I gonna give it to? I'm gonna give it to the tight end room. Pat Fryermuth, Jonnu Smith, first off, two studs at tight end, two really solid options in the receiving game. Tight end, they both can block as well. But why have them block when you can have someone like Darnell Washington come in for the run reps and just pancake whoever he gets in front of because he's just a freak of nature with extraordinary strength. So we should use him more in the run game and also use him more in the red zone because I mean, 6'7", over 300 pounds. No one's going to be able to stop this man if Aaron Rodgers can just high point the ball to where he can only get it. He's underutilized in this Steelers system so far through his career, but hopefully this year we will see more of him in the red zone. I just think everywhere else on the offensive side of the ball, I have questions about basically every other position group. The offensive line, you're not really too certain if they're going to be too phenomenal. Wide receiver, you're like DK is a stud. Everyone else, though, I'm questioning if there's a real number two in that room. Quarterback wise, Aaron Rodgers, legendary career, of course, old now, and the running back room. Jalen Warren been a number two his whole career, getting the key starter reps now. Is the production still going to be there? I just have questions everywhere else. Whereas in the tight end room, I'm pretty confident Moose and Jonnu are going to hold that down and be probably the most consistent players on that side of the ball. Moving to the defense, obviously it's been the same position group for a while that has been the best on the defense. The linebacker group. Uh, you got TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, even the backups with Nick Herbig and Jack Sawyer now on the edge. They're all phenomenal in my opinion. Sawyer and Herbig, another year for them, those two to develop, especially Herbig. Sawyer, this is his first year, so it's his first year to develop. But he will be learning from the best. And I think we do have a underrated middle linebacker core with Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson. I think they're gonna be probably one of the breakout duos on the defensive side of the ball in the NFL this year, in my opinion. Also, their backups aren't too bad either. You got Cole Holcomb right there. So I'm feeling very confident about this middle part of the defense. The edge rush is going to be there. And I do think PQ and PW are going to hold it down in the interior for this defense as well and just control the traffic out there, be the voice of the defense. But when there's a best, there has to be a worst. And who or what groups are the worst offensively? As I said, the quarterback room, honestly, as I just said, Aaron Rodgers has had a great career, but we don't really know what he has left in the tank. He hasn't really had a great season since 2021. So, can we rely on him to move the needle too much? No. Can we rely on him to be as good as Russell Wilson and Justin Fields last year? Hopefully, I'm not completely sold because the age is concerning. He could get hurt at any time if this offensive line does not protect him. So it's very scary. Mason Rudolph is behind him. Rudolph's had some good stretches with us, but I don't think he's a long term option if he had to take long term snaps for us. But hopefully, Aaron Rodgers can overperform. Mike Tomlin has done great with less talent in the past, so I wouldn't be surprised if he can pull it out of him. Let's talk about defensively, though. Uh, Defensively, not really too many holes, I would say, but there has to be a worse. I would say the secondary, and only because of depth reasons. I do think we have the star talent out there starting. It's just if anyone does go down, I'm kind of worried about who we have behind. players like Ramsey, players like Slay, gets a little worrisome. Maybe I'm just have a bias because of the release of Beanie Bishop, but but I would love to see the secondary. I think they're gonna be phenomenal no matter what. I don't think we really have to worry about them too much. There just has to be a worse. And the defensive line isn't gonna be bad. And I don't think the linebackers are gonna be bad. I don't think the secondary is gonna be bad either, but out of everyone else, I would give them the lowest grade. But that has been it from Steelers Latest. I've been your host, Cole Dennis, and I will see you tomorrow.